We ready? Let's call the meeting to order. Miss Samara, would you please salute?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the symbol among the other cultures.
Thank you. Approval of tonight's agenda.
I move to approve tonight's agenda.
It's been moved and seconded to approve tonight's agenda. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Approval of the February 17th board meeting minutes.
Move to approve February 17, 2026 regular board agenda minutes.
Moved and seconded to approve February 17th board meeting minutes. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Public comment. Guess we have any, huh? All right. Moving on to item 3, Heart of a Grizzly, Mr. Patterson.
Mr. President, member of the board, we have a person that I don't feel gets recognized enough that does tons and tons and tons for our school. She does for the board. She does for me. She does for our kids in their concession stand. She shows up at everything. She videos. She's first to volunteer, even coaches when we need a coach. So I would like to present this Heart of a Grizzly Award to Miss Jessica Roper.
Thanks, Jess. For
Thank you for all your work. Wait, picture. Picture.
Background. Thanks, Jess. Thank you.
Someplace on your wall you can hang that. You have to move something.
I'm just gonna put a chain around
There you go. Your new school ID.
Good deal.
it.
All right, item 3B, Kaylee with the bond sale update. With it, Kaylee?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you for that introduction. Good afternoon, President and members of the board. My name is Kim Weinerskirch. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there in person tonight. I just have a brief finance plan update for you guys. A general obligation bond sale update for you guys to talk about how last week's sale went. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. It should be doing it.
Yes,
All right.
it's there.
All right. So to just jump right into it, we sold $1,250,000 with the New Mexico Finance Authority last week. That security, of course, is ad valorem taxes. Closing is scheduled from 1 month from now on April 17th. The final maturity of these bonds will be on August 1st of 2037. They are subject to a 10-year call, so in 2036, we will have the potential opportunity to be able to currently call these bonds. The true interest cost came in at 1.87% for a total interest expense of about $96,000. This slide here really just shows the overall debt service schedule of this issuance. You can see that in both 2026 and 2027, we have larger debt service payments up front. This is by design, one for the interest cost savings throughout the loan, and additionally, two, that $275,000 is meant to push up your tax rate, as we had discussed that $3 tax rate increase that we had planned at the last election. The debt service requirements do drop in 2028. That is also by design, because in 2028, that is when we're scheduled to sell, the remaining $1,250,000 of general obligation bonds. Additionally, too, on this slide, we can see that the 2037 maturity was priced with a 0% coupon, and that 2036 coupon is 0.617%. This is because the district did qualify for the New Mexico Finance Authority's Disadvantage Program. So we were able to price $125,000 of these bonds at 0%.
So that 125,000 is the last two payments.
Yes, it is. And so that 2036 maturity is a 0.617% coupon because we're able to price 55% at 0% and then 15,000 at 2.88%.
And then the other question I had was in regards to the bond. I thought most of them were 20 years, not 10 years.
Yeah, absolutely. So state statute does allow bonds to be sold for across 20 years. Generally, though, as advisors, we try to stray away from that. And it's just because the longer that debt is outstanding, the more time it has to accrue interest. So, with this in mind, I try to not, structure bonds to be on 15 years.
So the 275 payment that's due the first 2 years, we won't have any issue paying that with the balloon payment that we have this year?
Yep, and so that $275,000 is structured to absorb some of the excess collections that we've had. And then additionally, the payment in 2027 is meant to be able to raise your tax rate, meant to be able to raise your tax rate. Throughout the year too, we do monitor the district's cash balances, and we'll continue to do so. And as always, we'll let you guys know if we see anything that should be of your attention.
I guess I don't want another big surprise like the balloon.
Yeah.
So,
No, we do our balloon payments up front, not at the end.
Right.
So here we just have the district's, history of true interest costs across the previous bond sales. As I had mentioned, for this sale, we came in at 1.87%, slightly above 2024. That makes sense with just the gradual, inflation rate. Additionally too, I do want to share that we ran an analysis on, what happened if we priced these bonds today. Within 1 week, we saw interest rates increase by 0.12% or 12 basis points. With that in mind, if we price this today, it would have been an additional $5,000 of interest cost for the district. So we're very pleased with the timing. We feel that we were able to get in before we saw a lot of the upward tensions due to Iran and the oil issues on tax rates. So we're pretty pleased with how this financing went. I'll pause there and see if the district has any other questions, regarding the bond sale.
So the money will be available in August?
So the money will be available on closing, which is scheduled for April 17th.
Oh, what was the
Yep.
August date you said?
Yep, the August date is our first principal payment.
Oh, that's when we owe.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right. And, additionally here too, I do have a slide talking about the district's tax rate. Underneath your action items tonight, there is a tax rate resolution that states, the board's intention to increase the mill levy by $3. This table is just meant to kind of, lay that out for you guys visually. Again, last year during tax rate setting, we did notify PED that the district was looking at a $3 tax rate increase subject to voter approval. Now that we do have the voters' approval, when we go to tax rate setting this summer, we'll be able to justify that tax rate increase until PED that it's good to go ahead. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about that tax rate resolution too. I'm also happy to wait until we get to the action item and go over that resolution with you guys also.
I think we can discuss it now, and then if you have something else you need to do, you don't need to stay online until we get to that item.
Right, I really appreciate that, yeah. So just jumping into the tax rate resolution. Really all this resolution does is that it states that for our current year, tax year 2025, the mill levy was $5.34, and that it is the board's intention and its goal for the tax rate to be $8.34 starting next year in tax year 2026. This resolution does not promise nor guarantee what the tax rate will be. It's really just stating our intentions and our goal of what we want it to be.
And this is a requirement of PED?
It is not a requirement of PED. The reason why we started to do this, actually a bit of background. Back in 2023, Hagerman schools did go out for a tax rate increase for PSFA funding. EED, though, requested that we could provide them with documentation that shows that the district wanted that tax rate increase. The issue, though, is that we saw that there is no official documentation that mentions tax rates. You know, the election resolution is for an election amount. The ballot question is for, you know, a bond amount. It doesn't mention a tax rate. So to suffice BED's request for documentation, we started to implement this tax rate resolution last year. It is optional for districts, but just within your guys' case of going through this $3 tax rate increase, I do think having, you know, some sort of documentation that shows what our goal is will assist us with tax rate setting this summer.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Any questions for Katie? We're good, huh? Well, thank you. And
Thank you.
feel free to log off or stay on, whichever you choose.
No, I appreciate that. I'm gonna go start my St. Patty's Day celebration.
Have a Guinness on me.
Absolutely. Well, again, thank you guys for having
Thank
me in
you.
the meeting. Congratulations on the successful one. So a wonderful St. Patty's Day, and
Thank
we'll
you.
keep in touch.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to reports. Pack.
All right, so career day is on Thursday. That's pretty much primary focus. We did discuss we discussed the calendar that's going to be coming up under action items. And we did agree with the teacher's choice. So we just let us know that the PAC did review it now. For career day, we have 34 vendors that will be in attendance, 61 kids between Carrizozo, Hondo, and Corona, and 191 total people.
Wow.
Will be here. So it's a little bit bigger than last year, but we're getting down to the end of it, and that's pretty much it. And I'll follow up next week with how everything went.
Questions for Pack? Thank you, Faith. Principals report, Ms. Barilla.
So we have right now 139 total pre-K to 12 kids. We have 5 pre-K 3, 4 pre-K 4. We are going to get after spring break 3 new additional elementary kids, so it'll increase our numbers a little bit. They came in, grabbed paperwork today from Miss Allen, so they will try to get it in by Thursday so that Kathy can enroll them and then they can start Monday after spring break. So that'll increase our elementary to 77 kids, and then 21 at the middle school, 35 at the high school. March 4th was the high school quiz bowl. The varsity team placed first place.
Wow, good.
The JV team placed first place and the varsity placed second place. On the 8th, Mr. Patterson took the 5th, took the 8th graders to Maze of Life. March 7th, FFA went to Tier C. March 10th, the juniors went on a college trip with Trio, and Trio came to pick them up. So they came in a van, picked them up, fed them some good meals according to the juniors, and then dropped them back off that afternoon. March 11th, we hosted the junior high quiz bowl here, and our 6th graders came in second place. March 12th was a PAC meeting. March 13th, we took the high school took the track team to Tier C. On the 14th, FFA went to Roswell. Last night we had math night in the cafeteria from 4 to 6 for kindergarten through 5th graders. We had about 20 parents maybe coming. On the 21st, FFA will travel to Texaco, high school track meet at Tucumcari. Then spring break is the week of March 23rd through the 26th. When we come back from spring break, March 31st, junior high will go to Magdalena. And junior high today is in Alamogordo for a track meet. Then we will start state testing, April 1st, 2nd, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And that's all I have.
What's the state test called?
So it's the IMASA for kindergarten, or not kindergarten, 3 through 8. And then 3, 5, and 8 will take a science test. And then the juniors take the set.
Questions for Ms. Barilla? Thank you. Mr. Patterson.
Most of this you had. I'll hit a couple highlights. The phasing at the end of the year, when we had our staff in service day, I kind of let staff know, start packing. If you're not using it, pack it. If it's doesn't need to make a move, get rid of it. If you're taking furniture, get approval because they're getting new furniture. The last week of school could be very chaotic, but that's kind of when it's planned to be in there to move. We have a discussion item that I'll talk a little bit more about those timelines. But we basically are trying to get the entire move done in a 2-week window. That's getting moved in, that's getting all of our technology moved over, all of our telephones, because for about 48 hours, we may be without internet or telephone at all. So that would happen the week after Memorial Day. Make sure I get the right weekend there. Getting exciting, getting stressful, because getting calls today, we dealt with concrete trucks and pump wagons that couldn't reach. So we had to reroute kids all afternoon but they did a good job. They fenced it off where they couldn't fence it off. They had an employee that stood there and just, if kids came out to go from one building to the other, they directed them. Elementary staff, we had them. They don't go from one building to the other without an IA with them or older kid to just kind of help guide them. And it went smooth. It just created some chaos for a little while. And we got a taste of what parking is going to be like next year because we had to move a bunch of vehicles. But they've finished what they're going to do on the track until track season's over. They'll come back and re-put another coating, restriping. Right now, the plan is in 4.5 years, they will come back and retop it again. That's with the warranty being typically 5, they'll come do it before the warranty's up. Still working out all those details because my questions are, what if that company's not still in business? Then it falls back on Bradbury. If Bradbury's not still in business, it falls back on Decker. So it will all be done right in writing where it'll be taken care of. And then that's all pending how it holds up while we're using it the next 5 or 6 weeks and our kids are on it. But if you walk out there right now, it's missing a coat, so it doesn't look, the colors don't match very good right now because I basically told them, you got it ready, we can practice, stop, come back when track's over. And that's what they're going to do. They may be out there over spring break a couple of days, touching up some things. That's kind of construction. Any questions on construction on that aspect? I gave you the information on the legislative session. I won't go over that again. Math adoption, I put a little note in here because with some of the rule changes in math that have come, that continue to come, and that have been placed in the MMAC code that go into effect in 2028, current textbooks may not meet the needs of the 2028 requirements for our secondary students. The update I got today, it would please the board right now, the 2 books that are leading for K5 or K6, no, K5 and 612 is the same publisher. I told y'all last week, I said, it'd be a miracle if we could do that. Right now, that's kind of where they're leaning towards. We got a lot of work still to do on that, but kind of want to give you all a heads up. I may come to you when it's time to approve book adoption that we may hold off on the secondary to see what lands as they make the regulations for that. The good news is our math coach is on one of the committees, councils. That's not what she called it, but she's on the thing that's getting kind of some inside track on what's happening to help guide us on that aspect. The other good news is the book that's leading for our high school is the only textbook that had a plan to address the changes that are coming in secondary. That's pretty promising on textbook. We've got the attendance and discipline in there. The one thing that I just wrote down is a couple of things have happened with the football co-op lab. About a week and a half ago, I met with our kids to talk to them about it right after our last board meeting. I guess it's about 2 weeks ago. We have between 10 and 11 kids that showed up that are interested, barring all eligibilities and all those things stay in place, which is a good news. That's more than what I expected. Last night I had a parent meeting. Probably only had about half the parents actually show up, but Faith can speak on it too a little bit. I think the meeting went real well. Of course, our parents would like to be just the Carrizozo Grizzlies, but they also want to play football more than anything. And so from a parent standpoint, they will support whatever direction we go on that aspect. I thought it was a very positive meeting and some good questions, and so that's the update on that. So.
Any questions for Mr. Patterson?
What was their concerns? Any concerns?
Did they even have their questions were, of course, what everybody comes is word play and word of practice. And we talked about, working with Capitan and doing some practices halfway so that nobody's got to make the directions all the way. We did talk about that, the way it typically has worked with NMA, the hosting school, is the home school. It's where the home games are played. That would be us in this case, the way things are written. But I also let them know that, right now we probably have the bigger numbers for secondary, but in a couple of years, we're not. We're going to have the flip unless we get a bunch of move-ins, because we just don't have that many kids. And in 2 years, we may be looking at this and we may be going and playing on their field for a couple of years, because we're the ones with the smaller numbers. We're the ones that are kind of needing them to keep our kids learning football and playing football. A lot can happen in 2 years. And they were okay with that, because when we were there, we had 2 middle school students there, and one won't be old enough to play next year because they're still a 6th grader. And so we just don't have a ton of middle school 5th and 6th, current 6th and 7th graders right now. We got good kids, just not a lot of them. So, but that really, I didn't really hear concerns, but what was the other question?
The question that was asked was what time practice would be.
Yeah.
On the nights that they have to travel.
Yeah, what time practice would be. And that, I told them those are things that kind of still would have to be worked out as we hire a coach, as we see, currently right now, if we had to go somewhere, we don't have a athletics period at the end of the day for our high school kids, so we would be able to eat after school. Next year, the plan is to have an athletics class back, which will help deal with some of that if we need to. So it was a question we couldn't really give a direct answer, but a generic answer that, and we did talk about that the coaching position would be open and the committee would be made up between members of both districts, and to kind of keep that fairness card, if you will, that because we don't want anybody to get caught up, well, that coach is from Carrizozo, so Hondo kids aren't getting to play, or that coach is from Hondo, so Carrizozos aren't getting to play. We want to really try to find a coach that we feel can do our kids right and get the kids to play together. So.
Any questions? Financial report, Miss Marie.
Marie, you still there?
Mickey.
I thought you had to unmute her.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
we can now, yes.
Okay, super. Sorry about that. I think I'm gonna keep my internet or my camera, because the internet connection seems a little bit weak.
Okay.
But anyway, And really, the only reason I really wanted, not the only reason, I miss you guys, but one of the reasons I wanted to be on was to kind of explain the bars that we're on. Of course, we have all the PO report and the bank reconciliation and all the checks that have been written this month. Are there any questions on those items?
No, ma'am.
Okay, good. So there are several bars that need to be approved tonight. And as you all know, we just finished the audit. We got the audit report. So most of these bars are bars that we're truing up the cash from the audit, right? So you know that we only estimate when we do the budget. And so at the end of the year, there's the bars to true up the cash to the audit. There are a couple of additional bars. There's one that was approved already for the wind farm funds that we received. And when I submitted it to PED, I used the same fund that we always have used. Gowan used it, everybody used it, but they wanted me to use a different fund. So I thought it would be best if it was approved again by the board, just to keep everything kosher.
Yeah.
And then there's the Title I bar that's on there, and that's the final allocation from the Title I that we get for FY26. Next month, I anticipate the final SEG bar to be on, but we didn't have that information tonight to get that on. So anyway, that's why there's so many bars. So just kind of wanted to explain that and ask if there's any questions regarding those.
The only question I had was on the Senate Bill 9 state match cash decrease. It was just 69 cents with an N.
Yeah, you know what? That's rounding. The rounding from the auditors or rounding from the state or something, but to make it true up, it is a 69-cent decrease.
I had the same question.
Cost
So
us $5 in time and just put a 69 cents there. So whatever. I don't know.
It does, yes. It's silly, I know, but
Okay.
there it is.
All right. Any other questions on the financials? All right. Thank you, Marie. You can put your Mickey hat back on now.
All right, thank you, and y'all have a good night.
Okay,
You too.
Thanks.
we'll go ahead and close that out.
All right. That's item 5, approval of the paying our bills and the bars that we just discussed.
I move to approve our bars and pay our bills.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to pay our bills and approve the bars, or approve the bars and pay the bills. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, motion carries. Item 6, discussion, the school auction.
Yes.
We might have a couple items we want to get rid of.
Well, so my stress level a week ago was extremely high after finally getting a hold of somebody that does auctions. My stress level's gone way down and actually getting a little bit excited about it because he came down yesterday, walked our entire school on the construction stuff that was going down, including some things that will be on the April board meeting to approve to remove, because I didn't even think about those items being stuff to sell. And he walked through, he said, "What do you do with that?" I said, "It's going away in construction. Sell it. I can sell it." And so from shelving units to things that are in there, and got really excited. The company that we're working with is called Route 66 Auctions. They are the priority agent for the state, and they run through Horizons of New Mexico. So part of their proceeds goes to Horizons. And I had written down what that is, but I've left that sitting somewhere else. But everything's done on a percentage. Classroom furniture such as desks, chairs, and tables that don't bring a whole lot of money, Their commission's 40% on that. But when you get to vehicles, shop tools, kitchen equipment, the stuff that are big ticket items, it goes down to 20%. They do it online. They will come down and catalog everything. They'll start cataloging the 1st of May and going through and get an overall catalog and pictures so that they get it posted up. They will run it for 4 or 5 days, and then people have 3 days to come get it. And if they don't come get it, we've already got the money. It goes away with construction, and we don't have to move a thing as of right now if those timelines stay. What was even more exciting, when I took him out to show him the activity bus that needed to go, he pointed to the old air conditioning units they're donating. He said, "What are you doing with those?" I said, "They're no use to us. We'll sell them." What about that stuff? What about, and so there's a lot of stuff out there that have been hauled out there that's been off the books for a while that will all go into the auction. May not sell it all, but I came back with a little bit more pep in my step because I was getting very, very stressed of how all of this was going to work and go hand in hand. And the one thing that we may have to do that's going to be a slight inconvenience is when they come in on Fridays and Saturdays to do the inventory, somebody's going to have to come let them in. But they'll come do that when kids aren't here. If they get stretched for time, they may come in a little bit when we get closer to crunch time if we need to. I'm hoping tomorrow I can buy another week with construction because I think for our teachers that other week would be good. The stress of getting them moved out. But the good news is, like he said, "Mr. Patterson, I've done this a lot. We're getting ready to do it in Des Moines. We've done it in some other districts." And he says, "When we start marking blue tape of what's going up on the auction, people start packing in a hurry because there's things they want to make sure that end up in the auction." So it's kind of a good thing. And so that's kind of where we're headed with this. Still got some details to work out, but that's how the auction will work. He's going to take care of the vehicles that have been approved for a while to get rid of that we haven't figured out how to do. They'll be in the auction. The 2 Suburbans, the white car, the little van bus, the activity bus, both the kitchen equipments. They want us to help advertise like crazy and get it out. So we'll put it on our website. We will we'll give it to the local email newspaper and have it sent out to the community, because I know there's people chomping at the bit for the kitchen hoods, the stoves. There's some local businesses that would like to have that I wish we could just outright sell it to them, but to stay legal, we got to do it through an auction, and that way they for sure have an opportunity to bid and pay attention to what's going on. I did go look at their website. In fact, I got sidetracked because I almost bought a motorcycle off their website that was in an auction. It was an antique. But I didn't. So, but it did sidetrack me. But the site's done well, and
What's the name of it?
Route 66 auctions. So,
So when they start cataloging Friday, Saturday, they'll start with the classrooms, I'm assuming.
they'll probably start with they're going to start with Clegg because we want to for sure get that building cleaned out first, because that's where they're going to start the abatement. And their goal is to start abatement on June 1st. And they have shifted that aspect. I guess I should have said that in the construction update. They were going to try to abate both buildings simultaneous. They've decided to focus on getting Clegg done. And then when they move from there, when they start working on parking area, that crew will move to Manier on that aspect. So, which helps us a little bit too. But he says they'll have it done in a week's time from the time they put it up and it's cleaned out. So,
And anything that doesn't sell,
so like the cabinets and stuff, when the deconstruction goes down, they just get torn down and go, and to some extent can become the spoils of whoever's doing the deconstruction. If they want to salvage and try to do something with it, they can, but it gets out of our hair. So
we just check a box that said it didn't sell, so it goes.
Right.
There's no
that part I still got that.
or
Yeah, that part with them, once we've approved it and done our process, we should be good. Now, there may be some things out at the ag farm we still have to figure out how to get rid of if it doesn't go, but the stuff in the classrooms will which is the benefit of not having to move stuff out. So, so
You good? Questions? All right. Item 7A, action item.
and this is a roll call vote.
Okay. On the intent to increase the mill levy rate, the resolution that Keegan just talked about.
I move we approve the resolution on intent to increase the millage rate.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. This guy's a roll call vote. Mr. Barella.
Yes.
Miss Zamora.
Yes.
Mr. Cerna.
Aye.
Miss Zamora.
Yes.
And I. Vote in the affirmative. Motion passes. Discussion of possible action on new bleachers and the press box for the football stadium.
We don't have a full action item unless y'all want to give a not to exceed on it because they did not get me the quote in time. The original bleachers that you have in your packet, I think they were in there for you to look at. I'm trying to get to the page number on it.
103, you said?
Thank you.
Okay.
So the original bleachers, as you can see, are quite extensive. They're the full length of the gym. They seat about 590 people. They also go to a tune of $340,000. So what we got to looking at doing, we realized how much it was. The press box is a big part of that, but the part that's in red, I had them take that and rework it with a new bid that gives us the press box, because what we do have sitting out there that has been our fans bleachers for a while is 4 portable that seat 30 to 40 people a piece either, that we can set on the side of this where these other bleachers are and not have to go the full 340,000. I was hoping to have a quote by the day. They were trying to get it to me by today. I checked it right before we came in. I don't have a price on that. When we budgeted for it through the bond, we budgeted about 200,000 for it because that's what we told it was going to be. I'm guessing it's probably going to be between 200 and 250 where this is at. Again, that's a guess. That's looking at what they have there. But that's the design. The reason why this is a big deal is the press box is the issue. Getting a press box in once the new gym is built will be near impossible because they have to use cranes to do it anyway. And so the timing of getting this done is important. And this is on us. The bleachers for the football field is on us. The bleachers in the gym, my understanding, is part of our construction. On the outside, it's on us.
So you're saying it's imperative that we make a decision tonight?
Well, no, it because I don't have a number, we got 2 options. We can either, sorry, I'll just turn that off. We can either do a not to exceed or know that sometime in the next couple of weeks, we may have to come together and have a quick meeting for one action item, because the lead time to get the bleachers is about 16 weeks. The good news with them changing the way they're going to do this, we probably have the 16 weeks. So
That'll be right
If
around.
we were to throw out the number not to exceed 275, would that be enough cushion? If you're thinking 2 to 2.
I would hope so. I mean, I would hope so, because doing the press box itself came in the original bid about 120, so the 120 is pretty lock solid. Talking to our contractors, they feel like it would be enough cushion. It's probably going to be over 200. That's why I said between 2 and 250. Again, I was hoping that we would have it. You know, while we're sitting here, I'll check my email real quick and make sure it didn't come in while we were doing, but because they knew I was trying to meet this. No. So they did not get it to me in time.
And right now right now they're saying 300 and what?
300 to do the design that's there. The
there.
full design is 340,000. to do that, we would have to pull the money from several other places because through the bond budget, we only budgeted about 2 to 250. There's places we could do that, but I don't know that we need to do that because I mean, even if we host the state championship, the realistically of having 590 fans on our home side stands is,
It'd be amazing.
typically we have 60 to 100 at a home ball game right now. I mean, and so it was, and I kept saying that when they threw the design out there, but I was like, well, they kind of knew what the budget was. And then when they came back, we were all kind of shell shocked. So
So if we don't add the other 3 sections of bleachers,
3 or is it 3 or 2?
it's
Three.
3,
you're the ones outside the red box, right?
Mhm.
right, outside the rail box.
Oh, and it would just be those for the home?
What
So
what would we do with the space if we didn't move those portables over?
well, I would say we move the portables over there because one, we want to move the portables over there because one portable will be used by the growl. And not everybody wants to sit in each other's lap, so it allows our fans to spread out a little bit. I mean, this seating right here, they say seats 106 total seats plus 4 handicap spaces for wheelchairs.
It says 100, for all these, this all is 106?
No, that all of that's 500 and
Oh, but this-
just what's in red seats 106. So it's pretty good size by itself.
Only thing is that you're gonna have people on top of each other.
Yeah.
Another thing I worry about is that bringing the other bleachers up, they're not gonna match those, sorry. That's what I worry about, it's gonna look kind of scrappy.
Well, they don't have to be right beside it. And bleachers is something you can add later. I mean, the bleachers isn't the problem. The press box is the problem. Because the bleachers you can carry in, they carry in and assemble it. The press box comes,
It has to be done.
yeah, it's going to take a crane anyway. And that's part of the reason why it's so expensive is they got to bring a crane here to lift it in.
And this is gonna be on the original fan side, right? Like, home side is still. gonna be
Where it's at right now?
Where it's at? or
It's
where's
gonna be on this side.
No, this would be
By
up
the new
against our
gym.
new gym.
The new gym being built.
It's on the east side of the,
Well, that's where the Grizzly faces. So.
Look at the, whatever that looks like over there.
I mean, and the other thing is to wait to see till we get everything final, and if we need to have a special meeting, we have a.
Can you point on the picture, John, where it would be?
Be on the other side of the-
Yeah, there's a football field right here.
Wouldn't it be
Yeah.
like right
Yeah.
around here?
Down there in the bottom right-hand corner,
Bottom right.
bottom right-hand corner picture.
Oh, yeah, you can come down at that bottom.
Oh.
There.
Right here.
oh, yeah.
Oh, the one that says athletic bleachers?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's gonna be on the other side of that building.
Under the Grizzly, you're saying, where that Grizzly's at?
The press box will be to the right of that.
Looking at it, it'd be to the right.
And our portable bleachers aren't terrible.
No, actually, our portable bleachers are our best
Pretty
bleachers.
great,
Yeah, they're actually our best bleachers.
Personally, I don't want to do it now and have to come back to this one.
I would recommend a motion to not to exceed 250. 275,
Can we go a little higher?
275. If the whole thing was 340.
Right, it should, I'm thinking it should be between 2 and 250, but
I think 275 would give enough cushion just in case. So I move we approve new bleachers and press box for the football stadium in an amount not to exceed $275,000.
Second.
Okay, and then second.
who seconded?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Approval of the committee responsible for reviewing applications selecting the NMS student scholarship. We only have one,
It's right there, he has it.
So
I guess we don't need the committee. Just approve to accept the one applicant and we'll submit it to NMSBA.
Move to accept the one applicant.
Scholarship applicant. Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Discussion approval of the 26-27 school calendar.
this was a fun one. So we narrowed down from the 4 calendars I showed y'all last time to 3. And this vote came in like 6, 7, 8 or 7, 8, 9. So we narrowed down the top 2 to try to get more division, and it still came in 11 and 13. Calendar C is what they chose. My understanding is the reason why they chose calendar C is students don't start school during the county fair. Staff will, but students won't. So staff will come in for the Wednesday, Thursday part. The awkwardness of it is we've already had scheduled the July 30th with all of Region 9 for all staff in service on that date. So they'll come on the 30th and then they'll have Monday, Tuesday off, and then they'll come back the 5th and 6th.
Oh, well, they have those days to get their kids ready for the fair.
But what this does do, because one of the things that we were all looking at is nobody wanted to come back after Memorial Day. The 31st is Memorial Day. We were making Memorial Day a week early. So really all of our calendars ended before Memorial Day. So that, I know that was a concern of the board. So nobody wanted to come back after Memorial Day, and this allows us to still do that. So.
Okay.
Then we have 2 early release days in the fall semester and the spring semester each.
October, November, and then
Have those been welcomed or appreciated, or the early release days? Not by the parents, but by the staff.
I think so. There's stuff that we've gotten done. Like clean and some of our IAs have tested too for, we talked about our IAs because we're a Title I school. They have to be highly qualified, so they have to do some testing. So Kathy's been doing testing with them on some of those things.
From the parents' perspective.
it's fun. The kids enjoy it.
Okay.
It's kind of fun for them to have that day too. A little bit early. And next year we'll be able to use that for, because didn't they pass legislation for the math? For the teachers to have a certain level of math, right?
They're trying to do like they did the literacy,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
but we don't know what that's.
We don't know what it looks like yet. That's kind of the key there, but yes, that could be going on. That's the part they still got to figure out. And I wish they would hurry up and figure out, because it could very much impact what our elementary looks like next year. So, because when they have to keep up with all of the training that goes for ELA with the letters training, basically the math training is going to mirror that in the same intensity, but they're trying to get the intensity done in a year. They're not there's conversation of them not unveiling it over a period of time like they did the literacy training, which means an elementary teacher could be having to go through both trainings. And so that could create a lot of different conversations on what's best. Do you partner teachers up and one does ELA and one does math? Do you keep the model we have right now? And so there's still a lot out there. That was the loudest thing I said that I had a problem with the new math. Was it what on paper it all was great. The practical implication of how to do it in any school, especially a school our size, is going to be messy. It's even at the secondary level, when you already have one math teacher that teaches 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, and now they've added these 2 other math classes. that's another math teacher, but they didn't fund another math teacher. So, but yes, the hopes is it could be used for things like that. Still use it to work on as we're working with capturing kids' hearts and keeping that going and those things moving forward. So, it has been well attended. We haven't had a problem getting staff to show up. So,
The instructional hours meet the PED requirement.
yes. So, and it had,
Why am I?
I thought we had wrote how many days it had built in.
11:40.
Huh?
Because I think it was 11:40 when we were.
It's 11:40, but the staff PD
Yes.
counts towards some of those hours, just like they did this year. It's the same hours we did this year, but we got to the 11:40 with, because certain staff education is part of that 11:40.
Okay.
So for our students, it's the same amount of time. I think on the calendar, it says 11:40 on the calendar this year instead of, last year's calendar. This was just for our numbers and separation. So
What was the difference between the other one? And this
The
one?
start.
That's fair.
Just the
start date.
date.
Just the fair.
For the kids.
Yeah.
The kids would start that week of their week, and then teacher in service was
it was the 30th.
27, 28.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right.
Good. Everybody good?
I move to approve the 26-27 school calendar option C.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve school calendar option C. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. We're getting to that time of year where we have to establish a finance committee to start working on the budget for the next school year. I see all these hands raising, volunteering.
I nominate John.
Who did we do last year?
Chris and
Oh, yeah.
this job.
Oh, yeah. I think I worked
I'll
out
do it
great.
tonight. I don't-
Retired.
Retired.
I don't mind.
Retired.
With rework.
Okay.
What's the
I
reason?
can.
Thanks for stepping it up.
Okay,
Straw straws next year.
so Faith and myself for the finance committee. Item F, discussion of superintendent's contract for 27-28. You all got to review the
very
evaluation last
good.
month.
Mhm.
I reviewed it in the interim between last month and this month. So,
We were all very pleased with it.
so
I move to, what do we do? I move to approve for a superintendent contract for 27-28 school year.
seconded to approve the superintendent's contract for 2 years from now. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
For the work you do. I guess I should have said that during discussion.
I enjoy being here. I think we've got a good team. So
Did everybody respond that you needed for the Tularosa meeting,
um,
regional?
yes, I got us registered for it, so I got it sent off.
Chicken
So
and beef or beef? Did you guys all decide?
everybody's getting beef. I guessed for Chris, so I figured he wanted
Oh, yeah,
beef
don't
instead of
get
chicken.
He loves chicken.
PAC meeting or next board meeting, the law conference is still,
Law conference, does anybody? But I'd like to start trying to get rooms there.
Okay, for the law conference, I will not be attending. I have to work.
I will not be either.
Okay.
That's election week.
Oh, yeah, my husband will be working too.
No,
Albuquerque Embassy Suites is where it usually is.
Not
They
going,
haven't
honey,
posted
'cause
that
we're gonna
yet,
be on their
but
cruise the 6th.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah, I didn't figure you were going,
School
so,
board husband, you're not going.
yeah, it's usually us two that go, so, but I just want to make sure.
We might have to change the next PAC meeting. I have a work conference, so I'm not sure if we're meeting
Okay.
Monday night or Tuesday.
Solo, I'll just put solo there.
I am interested.
And they did finally put they did finally put the retreat down too. Where it's
And I
at,
am
so.
interested in going to that.
The PAC meeting?
No.
Oh. You got me all excited.
Sorry, Faith.
The retreat in Taos?
Yes.
Well, of course. Who would want to go to Taos instead of Albuquerque?
Or Cloud
Yeah, Albuquerque. Miserable.
I guess it was.
We still got a little time for that
Okay.
one, but
All right. Any other business?
No.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Sorry,
Move
John.
second.
Great time.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank
You
you.
got one, John.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Everybody have a great
I can't believe nobody wants to go to Albuquerque for the